It's Tuesday the 7th of December 2021. Hello, welcome to our little chat show. Ever fancied a friend but you can't find one? Eh? Or maybe another half. I wonder if you'd be up for... It's weird, forming a relationship with a robot. Do you think you could do that? And I don't mean anything naughty. I don't mean any of that, stuff. As a friend, perhaps, even just someone to sit there and talk to. Could you do that with a robot? Because a story I saw a couple of days ago is really interesting. It's in the Daily Star. And believe me, this is coming. This is coming. In our lifetimes, I'm sure it is. How far we'll get along while we're still here, I don't know. But I think the day will come when you'll be hard pushed to tell whether it's a robot or a real person. Already on the internet, we've got like pictures and images of people and they can change. It's so close to reality. Like perhaps Boris Johnson saying something where he actually hasn't said what you've just seen. Someone's done it with artificial intelligence. That's as far as the pictures go. Now the robots have got some time to go before we get to that, but it's coming. Here's the story. Daily Star's take on it. UK-based Engineering Arts have developed an advanced robot with realistic expressions as footage shows the humanoid wake up from its sleeping state with lifelike gestures, and it really is lifelike. What's it look like? Well, I mean, you've seen the little caption at the top of the YouTube here. Here's a bit of a bigger picture for that, right? And believe me, all those parts, if you just look at the head, okay, it's just a bit of a grey plastic thing at the moment. But the eyelids move, the brow moves, the cheeks move, the ears move. It all moves almost like a human. Not quite. You can still tell. Let's not get this right. If you get this wrong, that you can still tell that it is a robot. The innovative robot known as Amica features groundbreaking technology in movement and gestures due to a system that's designed to embrace artificial intelligence. The company has hailed Amica, who has drawn comparison with androids from the hit film I, Robot, starring Will Smith as the future face of robotics. Engineering Arts believe Amica could be the platform for future developments in advanced robotics. Now, I can't show you the film that they've made of the whole facial movements and what have you, because that's a copywritten thing. But it's coming. Do you think you could form a relationship with one? So they're programmed. At some point, they'll be able to be programmed to talk to you, won't they? Yeah, they'll be able to listen and talk to you and make decisions at some point. They will look like you, or they will look like what you want them to look like. Presumably, you'll have all these different faces to choose from. And I suppose at some point along the line, you'll be able to design what face you want on your robot. And I wonder, how this does for humanity. Because, come on, let's be honest. Perhaps you get fed up rowing with people and this, that and the other. Why would you want to do that if you can just go out and buy a robot and the moment the going gets tough, just turn it off? Just turn it off. It's an interesting thought, isn't it, eh? Would you have a robot as a friend? Would I? I don't know. I mean, I think in the future it will be practically impossible to tell if it's a robot or a human. I really do believe that. I mean, that's a long way off. We're coming along in leaps and bounds now with these things, Soon you'll have robots. I'm sure you'll have robots to clean the house and things like that. They'll be I suppose, the most basic ones. They will be able to do certain tasks that they are built for. Clean your house, drive your car. Well, I mean, cars are going to be able to drive themselves at some point, aren't they? You'll get a couple of robots to paint your house up. Or do the more dangerous jobs like climbing on your roof. and you haven't got to worry about a fat robot going up and breaking your roof, because you'll know how much they weigh before they get there, and they'll be able to clamber across my roof. I've got people coming on my roof soon. Pigeon people, boys and girls. I'm such an evil person. Pigeons are going to be evicted soon from underneath my solar panels. Not only that, just before Christmas as well. How evil is that? Oh, poor pigeons. Where are they going to go? Perhaps you'd like them. Anyone who wants to come round and collect the pigeons that are nesting underneath there's loads of them nesting underneath my solar panels, you feel free to come and collect them before the pigeon men come. They won't be killed, don't worry. They won't be killed. I checked on all that. They get shooed away, because they don't hang around if there's people there, do they? They get shooed away, and what they do is put a metal guard all around the bit between the solar panel and the roof, the gap there. They put a metal guard all around that, and then they can't get back in again, and they'll just find somewhere else to go. But there are loads of them. They're like a herd of them. Is that correct? A herd of pigeons? What is it? A gaggle of pigeons? I don't know what it is anyway. If you ever want to leave a comment, do you fancy a robot? Could you have a robot as a friend? What if I brought a robot round to your house and it was, say, just like your friend that you have, just like me, sitting there, and I like to talk to Chris for a while, and this robot was identical to me, except it wasn't kind of real. But then again, what is life? Is artificial intelligence actually another form of life? If you can teach that artificial intelligence to cry, to laugh, to argue, is that actually really a life or not? It's a strange thing, isn't it? Strange thing to think about that. All right, any comments, just put them under there, or you can always send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And talking of emails, Vera sent in a text this morning. We were talking about that film. I don't know if you've seen it. Any of you seen it yet? The film I recommended, A Boy Called Christmas, which is on Sky Movies and in a cinema at the moment. Now, I did think it was on Netflix here in the UK, but not according to Vera. She's written here, I've just had a look, and the film A Boy Called Christmas is not on Netflix in the UK, but it is in the USA. All right, Netflix USA, I've got it. I know we have some of our American friends, Chris and Glenda, and some others as well. So if you're watching over there, you will be able to see that on Netflix USA. Vera says, it has been launched in other countries as well as Sky, but not here on Netflix. It might be at your local cinema, which indeed it is at the moment, because I've checked. A Boy Called Christmas. As you mentioned, what a great film The Polar Express is. It's on Prime Video to either rent or buy. And The Polar Express, again, as mentioned on yesterday's show, is one of those beautiful family films. I mean, it really is. You need the box of tissues because there's some sad bits and there's some happy bits and all that business. But we're very lucky, Vera, because my nephew's wife has actually hired out a small cinema, which I don't think it was as expensive as you think it is. It's just like, if there's 3 screens, she's got the smallest screen, I believe. I don't know until I go up there. She's hired this out for great nephews Harry and Evie and their friends. And I'm going as well, and the family and various other people. And we're going to this cinema in, I haven't got my calendar here, just before Christmas to sit in there and watch the film. And we're very much looking forward to that. I of course, I will be sitting with the children. I'm not interested in sitting in adults because they want to blooming talk to me. Shut up. I'm trying to watch the film, please. Thank you very much. I'll be sitting with the children, possibly throwing sweet wrappers at people and pieces of popcorn and getting into serious trouble. I do hope so. I hope that my sister stands up and shouts, "Why are you teaching them to do that?" Because it's fun, sis. Because it's fun. All right. Good. What else have we got on our little show today? Mike in Brighton. Hello, Mike. An avid viewer of the show. I had a little conversation with him and he was asking us a couple of questions, so I'll answer for everyone else now. He wants to know what time I record the show, usually the night before, somewhere between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. That's generally when I record the show, okay? So if you find sometimes, you've sent in a little message, maybe a little bit later on, and it hasn't come up, that's why. Already recorded, all right? And he was also saying, what was the outcome of your visit to the dentist? Now, I'm sure I told you this, in yesterday's show or another show, but clearly I haven't because Mike would have seen it. So I'll tell you what's happened now. Maybe I've told it on the radio show and I haven't told it on here. And we do have a different audience on both and a little bit of a crossover between both as well. So what happened, I went to the dentist. He took 2 x-rays. Lovely, lovely man, our dentist. Mo the dentist. Best dentist I've ever had, and he's very caring and listens to everything. He's a little bit chatty, which I find quite nice. And anyway, so he's opened my mouth, had a look. He said, I think it's just ultra sensitive. What's happened is I have a little bit of a condition, as you well know, and one of the effects of this condition is that my gums will recede, and this one here has receded quite some way now. Okay, there's like a big gap between like a, what do you call it? Like a ridge, sort of, between the top of the tooth and the gum, and it goes in there, right? So there's a bit of a ridge there, and it's gone up a bit further, and that's what he thought it was. And he was so careful. I said, please, please be very careful you don't touch it, because I will go through the roof. It's that bad. He said, what's pain like on a scale of 0 to 10? I said 10. Okay. He said, and how long does the pain last when something's touched it? I said 2 to 3 seconds. And that's and then it's gone. Basically, the worst thing is ice cream or very cold liquid. But ice cream, I think, is probably the worst. It's difficult. You can't keep it over one side. It kind of seeps across. And the moment it touches it, whoosh, it goes straight up my head, this pain. Anyway, so he had his little spray air thing, you know, that pss, 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 that thing. He said, right, I'm going to be very careful. I need to know exactly what tooth it's got. So I'm going to have to gently spray your teeth with air. I'm going to do all the ones first that I don't think it is and do that one very last, very gently. Okay, right, I need it. Psst, psst, how's that? Psst, that's okay. Psst, psst. Oh, I said a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, and he went on. And then he went, right. He then got 2 bits of big, you know, those cotton wool tube things, put them all out and just left 1 tooth exposed. He said, right, I'm going to do the one I think it is. I'll be really gentle. Just tell me straight away. And he just went, that's the one. That's it. And he was very gentle and the pain didn't go shooting up my head, but I knew that was the one. He said, right, okay. He said, then he took a couple of x-rays of this, looked at the x-rays, because they're, of course, instant now, as you well know. These x-rays, are none of this sending it away and we'll get back to you in 2 weeks. No, it comes up straight away on a computer. I'm always very impressed with that, the way the dental technology stuff has moved on. And he looked at those. He said, I can't see any cracks in there at all. It's possible that there's a hairline crack. And he said, we're going to check for that now. And he put this bit of cotton under the affected tooth. He said, right, I want you to bite down really hard. Okay, so I'm biting down. There's a little bit of pain on biting down. He said, right, come off the bite quickly. I went like that. Okay. He said, what was it like when you came off the bite? I said, fine. He said, right, it's not cracked, because it would really hurt when you come off the bite, apparently, if it's cracked in any way, shape or form. So his diagnosis was, it's just become very sensitive where that part of the tooth has become exposed. What toothpaste are you using? So I said, I'm using the one that you told me to use some years ago, the thick Sensodyne one. I have admittedly been using the very, very cheap but perfectly good Audi toothpaste. Unfortunately, for someone with damaged gums like mine, can't really use that anymore. So I went back to the Sensodyne toothpaste some time ago, which is really thick. And for a long time it works, but it's not kind of helping now, really, that particular one. So he has prescribed me toothpaste, which apparently is 40 or 50 times stronger than the stuff I have. This is it, okay? Durafat, 5,000 ppm. I don't know what that means, 5,000 ppm there. And it's special toothpaste. Does it say it on there? It's got a lot of fluoride in it, basically. And you brush it on 3 times a day. There's the tube. They're only small tubes, right? Now, he managed to do this. He put 3 of them on a prescription, right? So I took these to the chemist, took this prescription to the chemist. She said, do you pay? Or I said, yes, I pay for my prescriptions. I said, may I ask, is it 3 prescriptions? Because it says 3 tubes. She says, no, you only pay 1 prescription because there's 3 tubes on that one subscription. So happy days, right? So I paid for that, £9.50, whatever it is, £9.75, I can't remember now. And that was it. And she gave me these 3 tubes here. It's sodium fluoride dental paste. So I have to put this on 3 times a day. You're only supposed to use like a couple of centimetres on your brush, and you brush it on and you spit out the contents. You do not rinse your mouth out. And the idea is this seeps over a period of time into the tooth and hopefully will help. Now, I've been on this now for 3 days now, and admittedly, it certainly hasn't cured the problem, but it's better. So I'm hoping in a week or two's time, maybe that will sort it out. But that's the toothpaste I'm using. As I say, it was £9.95 for the prescription for 3 tubes. I looked this up. To buy this is £15 a tube. 15 quid, one of those. It's a lot, isn't it? 15 quid. But, you know, if it sorts out the problem, then I'll be happy. That's the first thing he wanted to try. The other thing he suggested, he said, if that's no good, this is like the first attack, shall we say. If that's no good, he can try putting a filling on it. But as it's on the side, apparently fillings don't stick too well to the teeth on the side. You can't drill it in to the side of my tooth because it'll hit the nerve, and that's not good either, because that's it then. You know, that's... Oh, can you just imagine that? Oh, no, thank you very much. So he can't drill it in. They'd have to kind of put this filling on. He said, but it may well drop off in a couple of weeks. That would be the second thing. So that's 2 things that he suggested we try there. I didn't ask any further. So we're on the first one, and we'll see how that goes. Thank you very much for asking, Mike. That cost me kind of a checkup visit, £22 to see him, which I'm very happy in paying. You know, it's not bad, is it, £22? Because you know how anyone who goes to private dentist, you know how much that is. I was with a private dentist for years, mate. No, sod that, mate. They were making stuff up, I swear. Because ever since I've been to him, this is the first problem I've had for about 6 or 7 years now. I've not had a problem with him since. No work has had to be done. Not like when I go into that private dentist. Bleeding jobs every time I had to go. £300-400. Ridiculous. Go and see him, and it's £22 or something like that. So thanks for asking that, Mike. All right, Mike's very excited at the moment because he's just ordered the Amazon bass speaker. There's actually 2 of those. I've got one myself downstairs, which very kind my friend DJ Chris gave me because he didn't want it anymore. There's 2. There's one for £119, and there's a larger one for £185. I've got a fairly large living room, I would say. It's not a massive living room, don't get me wrong. It's a large living room. I would say I've got a large living room, and the smaller one is perfectly all right for there. You wouldn't need a large one. He's ordered the smaller one, so he's very excited and waiting to get his Amazon speaker. I'll tell you what surprises me, how clever it is that if you get your Amazon speakers in the house to all play at the same time, a song or something like that, that is exactly what they do. Isn't it clever? How do they manage to do that, right? Well, you haven't got one playing slightly faster or slower than the other one, and the other one as well doing the same thing. They all play at exactly the same speed. How clever is that? I'm just amazed at what we've got now, and a little bit sort of jealous of youngsters that have got all this now that we never had as children, because I feel I could have done a lot more with radio and technology stuff. But there you go, you know, it's just how it is. Can't have everything, can we? Can't have everything. So that's it. Going to show you a couple of pictures of Ronnie's tree. Okay, I've taken a couple of pictures from it. You're going to like this. Look at this. Here we go. That's the tree outside his house. Check out the light up baubles there. It's beautiful, isn't it? What he's done there. Wait till you see the ones in the house. It might be a little bit dark. There we go. And it's dark because the white lights tend to blur out. Remember, I don't have a professional camera at all. This is just taken with an iPhone 8. All right, so I've done the best I can there for you. And I turned the brightness down so you can kind of see the tree. All right. So that's his tree indoors. Beautiful, isn't it? And what I'll do is I'll video onto the tree and all the little bits separately that are on the tree. and I'll put that together for you as soon as he's completed all his decorations, all right? And talking of decorations, we've set a day for our outing this week, and we'll be going tomorrow. Going tomorrow morning, probably shortly after the radio show, into London for our annual visit to, which we haven't done for 2 years actually. 2 years ago I went on my own. Last year, of course, we couldn't go at all, so we'll be doing our annual visit to Hamleys, probably John Lewis, walk down, look at some of the lights, maybe Selfridges, and so much looking forward to that. So much looking forward to that little outing. So that's tomorrow. Okay, and I'll do some pictures and videos for you. Much excitement at the swimming pool today. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, I tend to book my swimming the week before. So I go on this app, which incidentally, the swimming pool have changed it. Everyone Active, I think it's called, in Bracknell. They've just changed the app. And what have they done? They've made it more complicated. Some bonzo has come, let's say, I think we can improve this. No, you haven't improved it. You've made it more complicated. It's now not obvious where to book the swimming, where it was obvious before. It was a big red bar when you open the app. Book swimming. Something like that it was. Now you have to look for it. Well, I have found it, okay. But anyway, so I book all mine in advance. So I turned up at the swimming pool today. And I've got to the barrier, and you wave your card over it. If you booked in, the barrier opens automatically. If you haven't booked in, it doesn't open, right? So I'm like, beep. It's not even bleeping. I thought, what's going on here? And then, honestly, I must have been trying this for 2 minutes. Bear in mind that our staff, just close to me behind desks, although they were serving customers. And eventually this old lady's come the other way through the disabled gate, which was open, which they opened for people. And she said, oh, that's out of order. I said, well, you would have thought they put a blooming sign on it, wouldn't you? This is out of order. Instead of me standing there like a blooming idiot, waving my thing, why isn't this working? And no one saw me, although I say they were busy behind the reception area. No one saw me and said, oh, that's not working. Why don't you put a sign there? Say, this isn't working. Please use the disabled gate. No, it's too much hard work, that isn't it, really? Anyway, so I then walked for the disabled boat, got into the swimming pool. And it wasn't very busy. I got into the changing room, which wasn't very busy. Regular people all there that you get to know them. I said, hello, mate. And, he said, it's all going wrong upstairs, isn't it? I said, oh, yeah, that's right. I said, my card wouldn't work. I've just had to come through the disabled gate. He said, no, it's not just that. The entire booking system's down. I said, oh, is it? He said, yeah, I couldn't book in this morning, but that's okay. They've let us in for nothing. I said, well, you're not had to pay at all today? He said, no. He said, everyone who's turning up, no one can book in. Right? Here's the stupidity of it, right? Because the systems are down, no one can book into a swimming lesson. Not only that, they are cashless. So guess what? They can't take any money either. It's just crazy. They are the swimming pool, the sports centre is cashless. They don't take cash. So the systems have gone down. They can't take any money. No one can book in. So I don't suppose they knew how many people were in the swimming pool. As luck would have it, we got changed, went into the swimming pool. Well, there were 2 of us for 20 minutes in that pool. 2. Sometimes you can have 12 in that lane, and that's not comfortable. 12. And it was only the middle lane that was quiet. The slow lane was full up, and the fast lane also was very busy. When I say lane, these are wide. These are very wide lanes, plenty of room for 2 people going up and down, and 1 in the middle overtaking. Okay, you don't want to be in a fast lane. I mean, honestly, the anger that they have in their faces as they go up and down swimming, trying desperately to beat the person in front of them. It's aggressive in there. No, we're in the middle lane, and there were only 2 of us in there for 20 minutes, after which time another lady turned up, and then 1 more. There were never more than 4 people in that lane, so I assume it's just because people had left it to the last minute, probably sat at home and couldn't book in on the app, so didn't bother turning up at all. Those that did turn up got in for free. Cashless, see? Cashless. When the cash goes down, that's it. It's happened in... Do you remember, I think I had this with a Visa card some years ago. Weren't I somewhere and I was trying to pay for something and it just wouldn't work? It was the garden centre. Yeah, it was the garden centre. I was trying to pay for something, and in the end, I used another card, so that was all right. But people with just one card, well, they couldn't. But they had to leave out all their stuff there. I believe the same's happened in. That was a Visa. That was a national thing across everywhere. Supermarkets were stuck suddenly. No one could take any money. That's what you get for running out of the cash. It gives these credit cards... OK, so that was a fault. It's not like someone switched it off. But nevertheless, someone couldn't they? Gives people too much power. It gives someone too much power to flick a switch and say, right, you're not having that. Don't like the world. Don't like the world. So that was much excitement in the swimming pool today. A couple of your messages then. I've read Vera's one about the thing there, haven't we? Hello to... here's another one from Vera, who says, hi, you and Fran will love this. On Christmas Day on Channel 5 Colour at 1:10 p.m, they're showing a programme called All Time Favourite ABBA Songs. Actually, no. Thank you for the suggestion there, Vera. But I don't like those all time. It's just like cheap television. Well, you know. Well, it's like a cheap television. They just put a load of videos on. Easy. Never impressed by something like that. But thanks for the suggestion. Perhaps Fran will like something like that. And hello to Chris Lots. Hello, Chris. Who is talking about the film that I mentioned yesterday, A Boy Called Christmas. He said, I loved the movie A Boy Called Christmas. However, I did have some odd allergic reaction to the film. I found that my eyes would start to leak a watery substance. Very, very odd. You're the same as me, Chris. He says, I'm a sucker for anything that deals with the loss of loved ones, open and honestly. My dad passed away when I was 13 years old. It must have been hard for you. Yeah. I always feel incredibly sorry and lucky in the same sense when you see young children who have lost either parent. You just imagine being so young and losing your mother or father. So I'm sorry to hear that, Chris. Really am. And of course, on the film, I don't want to give the film away to people who haven't seen it yet, but do watch it. A Boy Called Christmas. It's lovely. Yeah. He says, I'm now older than dirt and I'm still affected by it today. Silly, isn't it? No, it's not silly. It's not silly at all. I know that because my mum's been dead now 21 years. My father, I think it's 25 years now. And not a day goes by, not a single day goes by without me trying to talk to them as I'm either walking around the house or just before I go to sleep. You know, I know. But I think possibly worse for you when you're such a young person. At least I didn't lose anyone until I was 32. And my dad died at my dad left me at 32 and my mum at 37, you know. So just how it is. Chris says, this week I'm going to watch another new British Christmas kids movie on Netflix called Robin. Okay, well, let's write that one down. Robin. I'll have a look at that. And tell us what you think of that, Chris. Maybe you can tell us before you've watched it so we know whether to watch it or not. He said, the main reason I'm emailing it again is to make a correction in the last email I sent. I realised after I sent it that I referenced Auntie Brenda as Auntie Rita. I totally meant Auntie Brenda is my favourite. And here's a picture from a couple of years ago. And I can't believe, I'll be honest with you, Chris, I can't believe how much I've aged. Here we are, look, me and Auntie Brenda a couple of years ago. Look at that, eh? Now, I'm not being funny, Chris. Have you done something to that? Have you slightly blurred it? Because I don't seem to have any lines on my face at all in that picture. Now, look carefully. You may notice one or two lines now. Yeah, there's a few there now, aren't there? But there don't seem to be any lines at all. I'm like, how did you do that? Huh? Please do. Pray tell. And I'll do that onto all my other pictures. Thank you, Chris. Some comments in from yesterday's show as well, mainly about the aircraft. We were talking about aircraft and those when you see those. You can't even see the plane, just right up in the sky. Just about you see this red and white flashing light. Paul Adamson says cruise altitude for planes flying over the UK is, if I remember, about 35,000 feet high, which I don't know how high that is. And Andy, thank you, Andy, also says, hi, Chris, 30,000 to 36,000 feet planes fly by. And then John Parrish, I assume that this is what 30,000 feet is. John Parrish says 3 miles high. So thank you very much. I'm a member of that too. What are you, 3 miles high? I'm a member of that. Are you something to do with planes? Are you? So he says oh, I've just lost the comment now. 3 miles high. I'm a member of that too. So thank you very much for that. And he thinks George meant printed shirts for your show. Yeah, I still don't know. Well, the comment from George was, now Stacey's doing T-shirts printing. Do you reckon you could do United Kingdom talk now? What, T-shirts with United Kingdom talk? Stacey could do that one for you. I'd send her a message and just send your request in. All right. Finally today, I just wanted to give a quick mention to John Miles. And one of the songs, I've loved it for years and years and years, is Music. You know, music was my first love and it will be my last. There's some wonderful performances of that that he did at Hyde Park at the proms a couple of years ago. Anyway, the Metro reports music icon John Miles, who works with the legendary Tina Turner, has died at the age of 72. The artist's management confirmed that he died peacefully in his sleep with his family at his bedside. He was not only so kind and gentle, but a brilliant musician and songwriter on the world stage. He shot to fame with his international smash hit, Music Was My First Love, and It Will Be My Last. Music of the future and music of the past. That one. Oh, there's not many words to it, and then it just breaks out into this big orchestral piece, which is just so fantastic. Is perhaps best known for his chart-topping song Music, which became a #1 hit in 1976. So if you get a chance, do look up Music John Miles Proms in the Park, and I think you'll like that. Alrighty, email chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk if you want to send us a message, boys and girls, or of course just put a little comment under here, and anything you want to read out, I'll read it out for you. Have a nice Tuesday. See you soon. Bye bye.